Thank you very much for the opportunity to address you through this video message as part of your wonderful book conference. Looking at your program and the impressive lineup of speakers, presentations and topics you will cover during these 2 days, it is a true privilege to be part of this and share with you some important developments within our trade. My name is Fabian Paagman, and first and foremost, I'm a bookseller from the Netherlands, leading a small and independent group of 5 bookstores as a third-generation owner together with my sister. And as a bookseller, I have the honor to become involved with the European and International Booksellers Federation, EIBF, based in Brussels. And as co-president of EIBF, together with my fellow president and former French bookseller Jean-Luc Treudner, I enjoy collaborating with our great, enthusiastic and energetic, but above all, very knowledgeable team in Brussels to ensure the voice of booksellers is heard and seen in Brussels, in Europe and beyond. And through our members, booksellers associations from all over the world, we represent booksellers and facilitate the exchange of best practices, experience and developments. One of EIBF great team members is present at Book 2.0 with you today to learn and share with you. Please feel free to reach out and speak to Lorenzo to learn what EIBF has to offer to you and let us know how we can be of service and support to your needs. Just like the book trade, and I suspect many of your respective businesses, the work and business of EIBF has changed immensely over the past years. In recent years, more and more legislation was put up in Brussels and affects our trade and booksellers throughout Europe. EIBF has successfully guarded the interests of European booksellers and ensured that regulations such as the Digital Services Act and the Digital Markets Act serve booksellers, amongst others by supporting the level playing field these regulations aim for. More recent, EIBF has been very active on lobbying the late payment regulation, a regulation that had the potential of harming booksellers immensely by interfering into existing and often well-functioning agreements between booksellers and publishers. And you may expect EIBF to join forces with our friends from the publishers to ensure new technical developments such as artificial intelligence serve our trade instead of threaten it. To ensure we can embrace, participate and implement new technologies instead of having to fight it due to a lack of legislation. Fighting for the interests of booksellers has always been in EIBF's DNA, and we will continue to do so. And it looks as if this may become even more relevant and important than ever. With the new political wave coming over Europe, with quite the influence from outside our territories, it seems more necessary than ever to stand up for our cultural and literary identity and heritage. Populist parties enjoy framing the literary world as a left-wing hobby and abuse the policy making on culture and literature to promote their personal agenda. A personal agenda where there seems very little room for complete freedom of speech, where writers are being restricted through legislation or through online shaming in telling the stories that need to be told, where booksellers become more and more cautious of which books are on their shelves and on which shelves. Do we dare to stand up for banned books, for books that are necessary for minorities to relate to? Our trade and our booksellers worldwide are extremely brave. Booksellers strive for the freedom of speech on a daily basis. They ensure that their bookstores are true safe havens where inclusion is key. They understand, like no one else, that a developed society is a better society. So reading is key, together with a curated but non-censored offering of book titles. And we know that some politicians in certain countries will do everything to limit and restrict us. It is one of the reasons why conferences such as these, Book 2.0 in Lisbon, are so important. Because we must not stop in emphasizing the importance and necessity of reading and the importance of freedom of speech. We must keep telling and educating the world about the importance of literacy and the importance of having access to books, all books. For so many people, the first entry to new worlds and new knowledge comes through their bookstore around the corner. EIBF works on this, not just through its lobbying work. Since 3 years, we have been able to launch an extensive program focusing on the exchange of knowledge, best practices and experience. And this program, by the name of RISE, facilitates hundreds of individual booksellers to travel to other bookstores abroad and learn and experience by doing. In the last years, booksellers from Australia have visited Germany, booksellers from Romania spent days working in bookstores in Norway, and booksellers from the United States visited bookstores in France. And also, under the RISE program, EIBF conducted a number of extensive studies focusing on the developments in international book markets. Studies on sustainability and on cultural vouchers, supported by podcast series, help trade associations as well as booksellers to develop their businesses and work on the lobby on a national level. And later this year, during the Frankfurt Book Fair, EIBF will launch its largest study thus far, a study conducted on consumer and readers' behaviors in almost 20 markets. However, the pinnacle of EIBF's RISE program is obviously our yearly conference. And this year, EIBF has the pleasure to gather well over 300 booksellers from all over the world in your beautiful Lisbon. We have spent over 2 days learning, laughing, making new friends and be inspired, and getting to know and experience the beautiful city of Lisbon with some truly amazing bookstores in the meantime. And in Lisbon, with all these booksellers present last March, we concluded once more that booksellers being rooted in their local communities are eager to innovate and develop their services and business they have to offer. And by doing so, guarding the freedom of speech and access to literature. I would like to thank you for allowing me, on behalf of EIBF, to share with you some of the work we do on behalf of booksellers. EIBF is very grateful to Appel for its support, and I truly hope to be able to attend your conference next year, but hope even more to see and meet you all during our bookselling conference in Riga next year. Thank you very much. Obrigado. Adeus.